A meeting recap is not just a nicer transcript. For AB-730, a meeting recap is a source of business evidence. Decisions, owners, action items, blockers, risks, dates, and unresolved questions. That changes how you answer scenario questions. If the scenario gives you a Teams meeting, a chat thread, or a meeting-related discussion, do not jump to a generic drafting prompt. Start with the meeting context. Ask, what was decided? Who owns the next step? What is still uncertain? And what needs to become a shared working artifact? The memory anchor for this lesson is capture, collaborate, personalize, verify. Capture the meeting signal. Collaborate in a shared page when the answer needs team refinement. Personalize with memory or instructions for repeatable preferences. Verify before the business acts. This lesson sits inside the AB-730 objective for drafting and analyzing business content with AI. The official objective calls out Copilot for meetings, Copilot Pages, Copilot Memory, and Instructions. That sounds like 4 feature names, but the exam is really testing workflow judgment. Use Meeting Copilot when the source is a meeting or related team's context. Use Copilot Pages when a useful AI response needs to become a collaborative artifact. Use memory and instructions for recurring preferences, tone, structure, and working style. And keep review in the loop whenever the output includes facts, commitments, dates, owners, or sensitive business context. The trap is treating all AI output as a private one-time chat answer. AB-730 wants you to recognize when the answer should become teamwork, when it should stay personalized, and when it must be checked against the original source. A Teams meeting can contain more than spoken words. It can include agenda context, shared files, chat messages, decisions, open questions, follow-up owners, and deadlines. Copilot can help summarize the discussion, identify decisions, extract action items, and help someone catch up after missing part of the meeting. For exam scenarios, look for clues like, after the Teams meeting, summarize decisions, capture action items, prepare follow-up, or identify what was agreed. Those clues point to meeting-aware Copilot workflows. But the review boundary matters. A meeting recap can be wrong about who said what was finally decided, or which date is binding. Before sending a follow-up or assigning work, verify names, owners, dates, and decisions against the meeting context. The right answer is not trust the recap. The right answer is use the meeting context, then validate the business-critical details. The value of a meeting summary is what happens after it. A recap can become a follow-up email, a project task list, a planning note, a risk register, or a short executive update. This is where AB-730 likes to test output format. If the scenario asks for a stakeholder follow-up, the output should probably be concise, action-oriented, and owner-specific. If it asks for a project update, the output should include decisions, blockers, dependencies, and next steps. If it asks for executive context, the output should collapse details into decisions, risks, and business impact. The meeting is the source. The output is the business artifact. Do not choose an answer that ignores the source, loses the owners, or turns a meeting into a polished summary with no action path. A Copilot response can be useful, but a private response is not always the right endpoint. Copilot Pages is the collaboration move. Use Pages when a Copilot response needs to become a shared working surface that people can refine together. A launch plan, a decision brief, a project outline, meeting follow-up, campaign draft, or working checklist. The exam clue is usually collaboration. If the scenario says the team needs to refine, share, co-edit, align, or keep working from the AI-generated output, Pages is a better fit than leaving the answer buried in one person's chat. Pages does not remove the need for source review. It changes the output from my answer into our working artifact. Pages is not a magic governance boundary. Do not choose Pages simply because a scenario mentions AI output. If the task is just to get a quick private answer, a normal Copilot chat response may be enough. If the task is to summarize a meeting, the meeting context still matters first. If the task includes sensitive or unapproved material, sharing the page too broadly can create a new risk. The decision pattern is simple. Use chat for flexible one-off reasoning. Use Meeting Copilot for meeting context. Use Pages when the output needs shared refinement. Use security and review controls when the content is sensitive or consequential. On AB-730, the best answer usually preserves both productivity and control. Memory and instructions help Copilot adapt to recurring preferences. That might include response structure, tone, preferred formatting, writing style, or repeated guidance like start with the key decision, use bullet points, or explain assumptions before recommendations. This can make repeated business work faster and more consistent. But memory and instructions should not be treated like a secure vault for secrets. Confidential customer data, unreleased financial details, or source material that should be attached and reviewed directly. For AB-730, the distinction is important. Preferences belong in memory or instructions. Sensitive facts, project evidence, and business source documents should be handled through the right Microsoft 365 context and protection controls. A good instruction changes how Copilot responds. A good source changes what Copilot can ground the response in. Do not confuse the two. If you want every executive update to start with, decision, risk, next step, that is a style instruction. If you need Copilot to summarize this week's meeting, this project report, or this customer email thread, that source must be in the working context. Instructions can say, write in a concise executive tone. They cannot prove what the team decided last Tuesday. That is why AB-730 answers should keep personalization separate from evidence. Use memory and instructions for repeatable preferences. Use files, meetings, chats, pages, and app context for the actual business facts. Meeting summaries, Copilot pages, memory, and instructions all make work faster. None of them remove accountability. Before using AI output for business action, check the high-risk fields: speaker names, owners, dates, decisions, customer commitments, financial figures, compliance statements, and sensitive information. If a page will be shared, check whether the right people should see it. If a meeting recap becomes tasks, check whether the owners are correct. If memory or instructions shape the tone, check that the content is still grounded in the right source. A strong AB-730 answer usually includes a verification step when the output affects decisions, customers, compliance, or operations. The goal is not to slow everything down. The goal is to know which outputs can be used quickly and which outputs need review before they become official. Practice checkpoint. A marketing team used Copilot Chat to draft a launch plan outline from a Teams meeting recap. The outline is useful, but several people need to refine the plan together, add owners, and keep the action list visible during the week. What should the team do next? Option A. Leave the result only in one person's private chat and ask everyone to remember their tasks. Option B. Move the useful Copilot response into Copilot pages so the team can collaborate on the working plan. Then verify owners, dates, and decisions against the meeting context. Option C. Store all customer names and unreleased launch details in memory so future prompts are shorter. Option D. Send the draft as final, because Copilot generated it from meeting context. Lock in your answer. The best answer is option B. Pages fits the collaboration need, and the verification step protects the business details. Option A hides the work in a private chat. Option C misuses memory for sensitive details. Option D skips review. Remember the pattern. Capture use meeting-aware Copilot when the source is a Teams meeting, discussion, or meeting-related context. Collaborate. Use Copilot Pages. When an AI response should become a shared working artifact. Personalize. Use memory and instructions for recurring preferences, tone, structure, and style. Verify. Check facts, owners, dates, access, sensitivity, and approval before the output drives business action. For AB-730, the winning answer is not just use Copilot. The winning answer chooses the right context, the right collaboration surface, the right personalization layer, and the right review step. In the next lesson, we will pull the whole course together into mixed AB-730 decision scenarios. The questions will stop announcing the feature name. They will give you a business situation, a meeting, a document, a source conflict, a prompt, an agent, a page, or a sensitive output. Your job will be to route the scenario to the safest and most useful Copilot decision.